Internationally, Russia carried out a large-scale air attack on Ukraine overnight. Ukraine's President Volodymyr Zelensky says Moscow's forces launched more than 650 drones and 30 missiles. The CBC's Crystal Gomansing is following the story for us from London. So, Crystal, where were these attacks and what exactly was hit?
Well, Arthur, Ukrainian officials say that Russia targeted the energy sector as well as residential infrastructure. 13 different regions right across the country were targeted with, as you mentioned, those drones and those missiles. Now, one of the locations that did see strikes was the capital, Kyiv. A residential building was hit. The mayor of Kyiv said it was a 5-story building. Ukraine's President Volodymyr Zelensky said one of the individuals killed was from the capital, a woman. There was also a child that was killed in another part of the country. Those strikes right across Ukraine, from north to the south to the east, locations like Zaporizhzhia, Kharkiv, all of those also included in the attacks. People told Reuters news agency that they heard those drones flying ahead, that they heard the explosions, and then, of course, emergency officials dealing with fires in these locations and trying to get into buildings to be able to rescue people and get them out to safety. Those are just some of the scenes that by now people are very used to, although spending another night and morning in the shelter is not something people welcome. And of course, with the attacks on the energy infrastructure, that means power is out in many locations right across the country. And when there's no power, that means there's no electricity, there's no hot water, and there is no heat. So definitely not something people are able to cope with in winter conditions. Now, this does come one day after a senior Russian military official was killed in Moscow. Now, Ukraine is said to be responsible for that attack in Moscow. That has not been confirmed. No one has taken responsibility. But the attacks today, both the drone and missile strikes, could be retaliation for that killing.
Crystal, this attack comes as the U.S. presses for a peace agreement, too. What does that mean for that effort?
Yeah, these talks are ongoing, but it really hasn't changed the situation on the ground for Ukrainians. We heard from the Ukrainian president today. He posted quite a bit on social media, as well as Andriy Skryba, who's, of course, Ukraine's foreign minister, talking about the fact that, they haven't seen anything moving forward. They are optimistic that there can be a ceasefire and peace agreement. They are dedicated to that, but it just hasn't come to fruition at this point. We also heard from U.S. President Donald Trump. His language a little bit different. He is still slightly positive, saying that talks are going okay, but acknowledges there are a lot of challenges, including the relationship between the two leaders.
The talks are going along, and I say that, there's tremendous hatred between these two leaders, between President Putin, President Zelensky, tremendous hatred, and I hope we can get it done. We are talking. Talks are going okay.
So at this point, it appears, Arthi, that Ukrainians will spend a fourth Christmas with the threat of more missiles and more drone strikes.
Thanks for the latest, Crystal. That is the CBC's Crystal Gomansing in London.